Hi. Oops. Maybe not hi. Nope. I figured since the service itself was a bit of a debacle, I could have an impromptu little gathering if we wanted to. We are victims and heroes of technology sometimes, I think. Hello. It's good to see you. Of course, I can't tell who you are, but I can see that you're there. I'm happy to have you with me. I apologize for the confusion. We started the stream early, and so I really couldn't mess with a whole lot of connection issues. And lo and behold, for whatever reason, the network dropped. And when it dropped, it didn't pick back up. So that's why we only had a scrap. So, hello. Oh, wow. Cool. Glad to see you all. Don't go away. Well, you can go away if you want. This is a freebie. There's already oh, hi, Tiffany. There's already a podcast or webcast or whatever we call those things online for tonight. A reflection on the Annunciation. Hi, Kathy. Yeah, I missed you too. I wish I didn't know that there was something wrong. We wouldn't have stopped the liturgy, but at least we would have known. Those things kind of, they happen. You know, we have a very big brick and metal building. And sometimes the reception, the Wi-Fi reception in there is pretty lousy. I'm glad to see you. Well, see your name. Yeah, so I thought we would have this little impromptu gathering just as a way to kind of connect a little bit. I will have a full blast live stream tomorrow, but I thought this would be kind of fun to do for tonight because, well, things didn't work out like I had hoped they would. So we'll do better. In the parish house, I have a network extender, and I've actually been using that in the church while we've been doing this. Yeah, but I mean, by the time you texted us, we really couldn't do anything about it, Kathy. You know, so it was, we're just sort of in the thralls of everything by that point. We're just trying to get ready to do the liturgy. Yeah, so, but we'll do better. So I just thought it would be fun to kind of hang out a little bit tonight and visit a little bit, see how you all are doing. If you have any questions about anything, of course, I love questions, but I thought I would say a little bit about what I had said in the sermon, since you didn't hear that, and just talk about different things, if that's fine by you. So, yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, you want to have things work flawlessly, and unfortunately, sometimes it just doesn't work that way. It's a bummer. So here we are. So Albert and I talked tonight also, and we will be having the Akathis service on Friday. That'll be at 6 o'clock. So you're welcome to join us for that too, if you're interested. It'll be, what is this, week 4, I think, right? I think so. Yeah, week 4 of the Akathist. So yeah, it is week 4. Wow, April's almost here. That's amazing how time is flying. But It's good to see you all. So, there is a live text here, live chat here. So I'm just going to ramble until someone might have a question, or if you want to ask me something or anything along those lines, just put it there, or you can send me a text through my phone if you think that would be of use. But let me tell you a little bit about the readings that we did today. Instead, and not just the readings of the New Testament, but during the service, there are also 2 Old Testament readings, one from the book of Exodus and then another from Proverbs. Okay, and in the Exodus reading, it's Moses' encounter with the burning bush. And so in the sermon, what I did is I talked about why we compare the burning bush that Moses encountered with the Mother of God. Because, when you take a look at those 2 things, there is one important similarity. Okay, and the similarity is when the bush was aflame that Moses encountered, he is tending sheep in the desert, basically, and he's minding his own business, and all of a sudden he notices that this bush on afar, in a distance, is on fire, which is, disconcerting to say the least. But then he goes up to it and he sees not only is it on fire, but nothing is burning. It's a miracle, because when wood burns, it gets consumed. Well, this thing was aflame, but none of its leaves were burning. And so Moses comes closer and to a certain point, and then God tells him to stop in his tracks and to remove his sandals because he's standing on holy ground. Sandals are messy. You walk in all sorts of things with sandals. So the ground is pure around this bush, and so he has to take his sandals off so that he can get closer. And it's at that point that God reveals himself to Moses. You may not realize this, but there is in Moses's life, there are 2 encounters that Moses has with God. This is his first one, and the second one is up on the mountain when he beholds God's train or God's back parts. So in this case, God then starts talking to him about what it is that he's going to do, that he has appointed Moses to be the champion to set his people free from captivity in Egypt and to bring them into the promised land. So you can already hear an echo of what's about to happen. Okay, and that echo is that Mary is sitting there minding her own business. If you read the Proto-Evangelion of James, what she's doing is spinning. She's making threads for a veil in the temple. And all of a sudden, this angel appears and says, "Hey, you're full of grace, and the Lord is with you, and blessed are you among women. And oh, by the way, you're going to bear a child by God," and all of that, And of course, Mary is mystified and stupefied and just can't believe what she's hearing and ponders all of these things. And but what's miraculous is it does happen. She says, "Let it be according to your word." And so she then has her conception, Christ's conception with her and the Holy Spirit. And then God dwells within her in her womb, which is miraculous. It's impossible. Think about this. God, first of all, created everything: rocks, fire, flame, the earth, the sun, the universe, created everything, right? And how can God, who created all of those things, including humanity, by the way, how can God create all of that and then live inside her? It doesn't make any sense. It's beyond comprehension. And she says that. How is that possible? In the Akathist service that we sing, she asks it even more pointedly. So it's really cool. I mean, the way that it's described in the Akatha service, there are a lot of beautiful poetry and things that um, that help to really get us to the point of understanding not just her, but everyone around her. Joseph and all of the others that see her conception, the shepherds, her miraculous birth giving, and even the angels. I mean, it's just like all of them are mystified at how this is possible. How can this possibly happen? And so, so here we have the Mother of God having God in her. And how in the world is that human? It's not possible, right? So how can divinity exist in one place without being obliterated? The creator of the sun. If you get too close to the sun, you're incinerated. I mean, you don't even have to get, you can't stand on the sun, but I mean, you can't even get close to the sun without catching on fire. So how in the world can God exist inside her? Well, the image that the Holy Fathers give is just like the burning bush being not consumed, though God was present there in the burning bush. God is present inside her and is not being, is not destroying her in all of that. So it's a really fascinating thing. And then that's just part of it. But the second part of it is that you have what Moses did is Moses traipsed over to Egypt and, through a various season of, plagues and things like that, finally convinced Pharaoh to let his people go. And they do, and they go to the promised land, a place of milk and honey, okay, which is awesome, right? Well, it's the same here. Mary becomes the vessel of transmission of our deliverance from captivity to death and sin and the devil, and brings us to the promised land where God is and where we dwell eternally, and where the spiritual good things of existence, love and peace and beauty and truth and harmony and calmness and all of those, and rest is good, and rest, all of those things are part of the promised land that God has promised to us as an extension of his glorious incarnation, first his birth, then his incarnation, his teachings, sacrifice, death, resurrection, all of those things bring us into that promised land. And so the Annunciation is the start of all of that. It's what begins it all. Okay, so it's a glorious day. And in many ways, I think this day is actually more important than the Feast of Nativity, Nativity being Christmas Day. And of course, if you set your calendars, then you know that there are 9 shopping months until Christmas this very day. So get busy, shop online. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions about anything? I'm really happy to see that we have some people here. We'll post this one too tonight, just so that other people can see it if they want. But I'm free to answer any questions you might have if you want to ask me anything. I'm not thrilled with this medium. I wonder about how effective it is, and maybe over the long haul we'll make some decisions. But it serves its purpose for now. Does anyone have any questions about anything? Feel free to ask me anything. Yeah, so, Annunciation just starts it all. And as I read the last time I did a live stream, I talked about how the 25th of March is also seen as the official day of Pascha. I'm not sure how the Holy Fathers set that, but that's what's stated in the Synaxarion, that reading that we do on Holy Pascha night. And then in addition to that, we also believe it has to do with the beginning of the world. Now here's a fun one. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan, it is also remembered as the day that the ring was dropped into Mount Doom, which is really exciting, but it's the day that sin is eradicated, because the ring is like the objectification of all sin. So Tolkien was a religious person himself, but subtly, not overtly like C.S. Lewis. And so he made the point that when the ring dropped into the Mount Doom, that was also during the Feast of the Incarnation. of the Annunciation, and keep that in mind. I mean, the Annunciation is really when everything starts, not the Nativity. Okay, so again, any questions about anything? All right, well, I'm pleased to have a look at the webcast that I sent out. I'll send the link here shortly, but if you take a look at the site father.kevin.gregory under YouTube, you'll be able to see it there. But also, we will do a full-blown live stream tomorrow starting at 7 o'clock. So please feel free to join then. I do thank you for your appearance tonight. God bless you. And again, forgive the flaws with tonight's liturgy. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. God bless you and have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.